Hey, everybody. Hi, Speedway fans. Welcome to American Speedway Chat Live, episode 27, coming to you from a sunny Southern California to around the world. I've got a great chat live today for you set up. We're going to talk about the 54th U.S. National Speedway Championship coming to Costa Mesa Speedway on Saturday, October 12th, on which XSRA.TV, your favorite race report channel for Speedway, will be doing our first pay-per-view live stream from the event that this legendary track where all American Speedway champions have come from. And that's going to be for everybody around the world, including if you're up there in NorCal, if you're out in New York, if you're in Florida, if you're down in Mexico, if you're in Australia, if you are in England, if you are in anywhere around the world, in Poland, Luke, you can watch this as well. It's going to be a great show. Aaron Fox and Wilbur Hancock will join me in the chat soon, but I also want you to know that they are going to be the hosts and play-by-play announcers for that live stream. So I'm going to have two-time U.S. National Champion Max Ruml on the show. Six-time U.S. National Speedway Champion Billy Gennaro is going to join us. And I think we might have the 2024 AMA National Speedway Champion Brock Nickel joining us as well. And I put a call out to Slater Lightcap, but I don't know. I haven't heard back from him. But and we'll also have, but I hope he will join us. But I'll also have a special guest for tonight. We'll be joined by the promoter of Costa Mesa Speedway and International Speedway Inc. Joining us will be two-time U.S. National Speedway champion himself, Brad Oxley. All that coming up. So stay tuned for episode 27 of American Speedway Chat Live on YouTube, Facebook, and I know I'm on Instagram now. So on Instagram Live as well. Stick around. I'm going to give you an intro and we'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. I know I screwed the pooch on that. No audio in the beginning of the freaking broadcast. I've done that again. I've been working my tail off. But this is episode 27 of American Speedway Chat Live, coming to you from Southern California to around the world. So thank you for joining us. We're going to talk about the 54th U.S. National Speedway Championship coming to Costa Mesa Speedway on Saturday, October 12th, of which XSRA.TV will be doing their first pay-per-view live streaming event from the legendary track where all American Speedway race champions have come from. American motorcycle speedway racing champions have come from. Their individual champions. And last one is Greg Hancock. We're hoping that we'll have some more coming up. But joining me on the show will be Wilbur Hancock and Aaron Fox. They're going to be the guest hosts for the night. Also joining me will be International Speedway and Costa Mesa Speedway promoter, two-time U.S. National Champion Brad Oxley himself. And so let's get into the stream. Basically, I just want to say thank you for joining us. I know we're on Facebook, YouTube, and I think we're on Instagram Live as well. Let me check this over here. Yes, we are on Instagram Live. So we're on 3 platforms, folks. That ain't easy to do, but the only one that can do it is me. Anyway. I also want to thank you all for joining the YouTube channel, all you subscribers. Last time I was on, I said we needed 3,200 subscribers. We now have 3,217. We need more. We always need more subscribers to the channel for sure. It's really easy. All you got to do is show this channel to your friends. It'll introduce them to the sport, and it's that simple. They'll want to subscribe at that point, and they don't even know that they're Speedway fans yet. Once they start seeing the Speedway race reports, they'll want to come to the track and they'll want to live the excitement, because there's no other way to live the excitement except to go to the track. All right, first of all, I want to say I get all my information from speedwaybikes.com, and you should too. It's hosted by RC Jones, and it's got everything you need to know about American Speedway, including rider bios, race information coming up, all kinds of stuff. So, all right, let me welcome my guest hosts right now. We've got Aaron Fox and Wilbur Hancock joining the show. Hi, guys. How are you? Wilbur, you got to hit your mic. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Oh,
there
boy. Technical difficulties.
Fantastic.
I'm doing good.
Well? Very good. And Aaron, how are you?
Doing as well. Doing great as well. How are you, Ken?
Very good. I'm excited for us to have this show today. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm just going to let everybody know that these two gentlemen right here are going to be your live stream hosts and play-by-play announcers for the 54th United States Speedway Championship that we will be live streaming on xsra.tv right here. Let me just show you. Right here, we've got the live stream pack right there. If you go to xsra.tv, you can get into it. It is $34.99. It cannot be cheaper than going to the track. According to my providers over there at speedsports.tv, we just have like a 15 to 20% markup to cover the costs, and the promoter deserves a cut as well. So you will be playing for you will be helping the promoter out as well as helping everybody see this sport outside of Southern California. All right, so before we go too long, I want to say we are going to be talking about the 54th United States Speedway Championship, and our guest tonight, we're going to start off with Brad Oxley. There you are. Brad, can we hear from you? Say hello.
I think I'm with you. Is that correct?
Fantastic. Brad Oxley. Cool. I'm going to let Aaron and Will talk to you about what people can expect at this 54th United States Championship series that you've been running for as long as I've been alive. So go ahead, boys.
Brad, your biggest race of the year. How is it coming along? What can we expect? And are you excited?
Of course, like to even be able to host this event after the last several years of missing this should be the 56th national. So it's the 54th national because we lost 2 years to COVID. I had my own stuff where I threw myself off a cliff a couple of times. And now to be able to get back to where we're hosting, I mean, it's what it's all about for us. We have other events that are really great, and a lot of people love to come to them and all that stuff. But Costa Mesa Speedway was basically built on the national championship all the way back to the days of the Bass and Woods till today with this Saturday night. And we're just feel blessed to be able to do it. Honestly, we're putting our best foot forward all the time because it never gets easier to do these events. And we're just glad it's going to happen.
We're stoked to be a part of it. Wilbur and I are going to be co-commenting for Ken there with XSRA TV, so we'll be trackside. We're stoked. Wilbur, what do you think?
I mean, just to be able to have the opportunity to be able to announce. I wish that I was racing. Obviously, injuries say different, but Costa Mesa is a special place. I live 5 minutes on the track. I always love going there, even as a spectator. It always provides great racing. Brad is an amazing promoter. He always brings the best and always provides the best track. And I think it's the best track for racing in the United States. It's the most perfect dirt, and it looks like it's a pool table when you show up there. So I expect nothing less but just making sure that all these guys are ready to go. And we've got a newly crowned AMA champion that's going to be wanting to keep a number one on his back at 2 different tracks next year. And along with Max, who's the reigning champion, who he really wants to step up and make it possible for another number one.
Yeah, there's going to be a handful of contenders here that can win this. Newly California State Championship crown rider, Slater. Obviously, Billy's won this multiple times. Austin's always had a lot of speed, has yet to win it. He's going to be hungry. Brad, what do you think about this lineup that's happening right now?
Well, we drafted a bunch of guys from up north. I mean, it's hard for me when someone who races all year at Costa Mesa Speedway misses the national, but we want to put the best riders in the country on the racetrack on one night for that event. And my only regrets about all of it, we've worked hard to put together a good field. It's great, but I mean, if we had Aaron Fox, who's the class of Costa Mesa Speedway, he is our proud national champion, and we always like look back gracefully and gratefully when we think about those times. And Wilbur, dude, you're right there. I remember when I was in your place, like where you're at as a rider, and it was so exciting and daunting because, you know, you're going out on the track with other national champions that you looked up to. In my day, I was out there with Mike Bast and Boogaloo Bob and Flying Mike Faria and Steve and all these people who all became champions. But it's still the same at Costa Mesa Speedway. After all these years, we still produce like a lot of really great riders. And I just know that like having the two of you guys in the field would have been pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Absolutely. I really appreciate the words, Brad. Obviously, like I've experienced Speedway at a lot of different levels, obviously overseas with my dad. And last year, lining up in my first Costa Mesa National, it was some nerve-wracking stuff. Every time that I go there for the National, it seems like there is a bit of a fog that rolls in. There's this aura that surrounds the whole track. And you line up for your first heat and your nerves are going and it, I mean, tapes up and you go and you have to just kind of put everything aside to be able to make sure that you're going to be up front, you know?
It's an atmosphere like no other.
After 54 nationals, I'm still nervous every single time. Like I'm so nervous for the guys, and all we like really want is really safe and good racing. We don't really care who wins as the promoters of Costa Mesa Speedway. We just want the best man to win. We want a good show. We, above all, we want to be safe. And those like motorcycles that you guys are riding now, I mean, we had our day. The legend guys had their day, but they were different motorcycles and they were more graceful and easier to ride. And I think it's different now. I think the motorcycles are so fast and powerful, and Costa Mesa Speedway is a very limited space. The faster you go on any given racetrack, the narrower the racing line gets, if that makes sense. So you're like a rock on a string, and pretty soon there's only one orbit you can be on. So every Saturday night when I put those 70 plus 165 horsepower motorcycles out there with no brakes on methanol, I have my fingers crossed. Because really what we really want to see is a really great event. We want everybody to be super safe, and so that we can celebrate at the end of the night. And we have a pretty good record of that.
Yeah, let me interject. Brad, you had talked about the bikes. The bikes have changed a lot. In the upright days in the 80s when you were racing a lot and you were winning your championships. Let me just show the people out there that don't remember the old days, because we're living in the present. What this is a spring classic from your track back in 1985. It's narrated by...
Yeah, but I'm going to lose that race. Why do you show a race I'm going to lose? I get like fourth in this race. You couldn't dig a little deeper and find me winning something?
I'm lazy. I just found the first thing I could find. Spider-Man Mike Bloom had this on his YouTube channel. I took it. Steve Evans and Bruce Penhall are narrating it in color and announcing. Check it out.
Steve Evans.
All right, this is the handicap semifinals. Remember all those riders we said had to be 1, 2, or 3 to transfer? Well, this is where they end up in the semifinals. The top 3 here will transfer to the handicap main event. And they'll be coming at us in 3 waves. In row number 1 is Dennis Briggs and Craig Schaefer. Remember Brad Oxley, who builds this racetrack? Well, he's way back on the 40-yard line, black number 5, trying to move up to the back. You see him at the very back of the red helmet.
Now, Brad knows this track probably better than anybody else does, but you see the 2 veterans out there in front, Craig Schaefer and Dennis Briggs. And boy, it's going to take some doing to get around those 2 guys, Steve.
The real dogfight, though, Bruce, is for that 3rd and final transfer position. Number 46, Jim Lawson has it, and number 40, Mark Dwyer, yellow and white, wants it.
Craig Schaefer still leading at number 29, and Dennis Briggs second.
Mark Dwyer has made up some ground on number 46, Jim Lawson. In fact, on the inside, here comes Dwyer in the yellow and white, and he takes over the third spot. Brad Oxley back there in the red helmet, black leathers. Well, he's just continuing to eat decomposed granite, Bruce. He has not had much progress.
Brad Oxley is great from the back, though. He's one of the best inside riders around. But Mark Dwyer, number 40, is holding Brad off very, very well.
And back up at the front of the pack is number 29, Craig Schaefer. This is the last lap, just ahead of 25, Dennis Briggs. And it is Craig Schaefer winning it. And Bruce, miraculously, a handicap race tonight without somebody crashing.
And the results from the first handicap semifinal. Number 29, Craig Schaefer. Second, number 25.
Now, that was a blast from the past. Steve Evans, the original Steve Evans, and Bruce Penhall narrating that. Brad, do you remember that race?
Yeah, of course, because you remember every time you lose. But those guys, you know, Dennis Briggs, Craig Schaefer, those were guys I grew up like looking up to. And then the dude in front of me, Mark Dwyer, was a total Speedway legend, and no one was going to like run it in and like knock down Mark Dwyer. Like, he was the coolest guy ever. So I feel like that was maybe I managed a semi win there.
Well, those were the days, but these days are now. The future is now. I'm going to bring back Aaron. He dropped out a little bit, but I have Max Ruml right here. I'm going to bring him in. He's got the magic stash happening right now. I think that's his good luck charm. Hey, Max, how you doing?
Hey, how we doing, guys?
You're rocking the magic stash. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I was just trying to copy Wilbur over here with when he had his, really. I mean, he made his look good. So I was just like, damn, as long as I can make it look as good as his, I'd be happy.
To be honest, Max, there was something magical about the stash. I felt like I was going faster with it.
It's so good.
It is.
I don't know if I'm faster, but I'm definitely happier.
Yeah, it provides a new side of life. I'll tell you that much.
I should grow a mustache.
That's awesome. Well, Max, how we feeling?
As good as we're gonna feel. Just got done with the gym here. Now we're kicking back, watching some football.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you know, it coming off of a 3-round hard-fought series there in the AMA Championship. Obviously, it came up just one heat short, right? It's you pushed all the way to the end, and you made the series so interesting. As a spectator, unfortunately, as a spectator this year, it was such a cool thing to watch because it's been a while since we've had an AMA Championship go down to the final round.
Yeah, I mean, going down to the final round, let alone the last heat race the last main event of the 3-round series, that was something you saw back in like the Billy and Billy days, you know? I mean, when you look back at watching those two guys kind of battle it out, when it came down to a last heat, it was just cutthroat, and it kind of gave me like the chills a little bit going into the main event up in Auburn when me and Brock were so close. I think in all honesty, we were a point off of each other. If I would have won that main event, that would have at least tied it. And that's what I was really looking for. But, you know, I mean, just just one bad heat race, really. One bad heat race in the first round up in Bakersfield definitely got the better of me. And, you know, it's hard to make up 6 points in 2 rounds. And, you know, when I came back and only had 2-point deficit going into the final round, I felt pretty good. But at the end of the day, I think Brock had a lot of it under control. It was pretty much his to lose, and he did a great job in not doing that. You know, I think me and him were the only 2 people that took points off of each other the entire night. So it was definitely disappointing on my end. I wanted to get the job done. I have a lot of people, a lot of sponsors, and just a lot of great people behind me that want to see me succeed and win, and I just wanted to do it for them. But at the end of the day, there's always another race, and we look forward to the challenge ahead next year, and definitely still got a couple big races to race for this year. Obviously, Rad Brad and the U.S. National. I can't wait to go and try and defend another title there. I think out of everybody, Aaron knows what it's like to come off of a championship win and then have to kind of try and retain the title. I think this is the more difficult thing to do rather than just win it the first time. So
Yeah, that was going to be my question to you, Max. Coming into this national here at Costa Mesa next weekend, you're going to have the number one on your back. What kind of added pressure does that bring? Does that change how you approach your night? What kind of things can we expect?
well, I mean, being that I've won it twice now, I think last year coming into it was a little bit more stressful. I think coming off of an AMA national championship win as well last year, there was a lot of unwanted pressure going into it because, you know, you kind of want to hold both titles. You want to be the guy who's number one everywhere. So when I got to do that last year, that was pretty wild. I thought that made the most of it. So coming off of something like that, I think going into this next one, I should be pretty level-headed. There's not much concern going into it. Obviously, I want to go and I want to win, but at the end of the day, the racing's racing and chips are going to fall where they fall. So just kind of got to see how the night goes, just like every other night, and hope for the best and see what happens. But added pressure, don't think there's much. I think coming off, I think I'm 2 in a row at Costa Mesa. I'm not sure, right? I don't know. Yeah, am I? So I think if I could make a three-peat out of it, I think that'd be pretty sick, honestly.
That's
But
right. You're up for a three-peat.
Billy
man.
about
You're up for a
that.
three-peat.
that would be pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know how many people have truly done that, but you know, I think
Brad, have you had any three-peaters for the U.S. Nationals?
I'm
Chris,
3 consecutive.
Geez, why would you ask me something like that? I can't remember what I had for breakfast. You think I have some like statistician up here working for me or something? I have a dog in my lap. I don't know anything. The dog's smarter than I am, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is where
I
we need
practically-
Sean Harmatuck or perhaps Ryan Evans might have this information. But I from what I can remember, I think there's maybe 2 people that might have 3 in a row.
Okay.
Bast and
Mike
maybe
Bass
Faria.
for sure. Yeah. Mike
Okay.
Bass for sure.
Yeah, I know you're up for a three-peat, Max. So just to try to win it for a third time in a row, I don't know how you're going to remain calm and collected, but
Well,
I think that
I
Magic
think
Match will help you out.
I think coming into it, I think the U.S. National at Costa Mesa is probably one of the hardest championships to win. I mean, apart from, say, like the American final, it comes down to one night of racing. It comes down to one heat race. I mean, one main event. That's it. It takes one race to make you a national champion. And I think that's where the biggest pressure of it is. I don't know how many times I've came second or third in this championship that we're going to be racing at Costa Mesa, but it's too many to remember. It's too many to want to remember. I think obviously I want to do my best and go out there and win the whole damn thing. But at the end of the day, it's racing. Anything can happen. And that's kind of the mindset I'm going into it with. It's just go out, have some fun. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, well, there's always next year. So we'll keep our head up, keep our head on a swivel, and just keep going.
Now, I got a question. So you got Brad and you got Aaron, who's both done their fair bit of laps around Costa Mesa Speedway. For Max, who's still, I consider, an up and coming rider, what kind of advice would you give Max? You know, obviously coming off of a tough, no one ever wants to finish second, right? In the AMA championship. So yeah, right. So what type of advice would you give him to make sure that, his head's in the right space and that he wants to put his best effort forward on next Saturday night? Whoever wants
I'll
to
go first.
Correct.
Yeah, I'll go first. For me, Brad said in a writer's meeting back on maybe my second season, I think that was 2012, and he said, this is not the easiest track. You have to let these races come to you. You cannot force anything, and every time you try to do so, it's not going to work out. It has to come to you. Let it come to you. And if it happens, it works out great. And I've kind of had that approach. And so it takes a little bit of the pressure off you because like Max was saying, It's very difficult when it comes down to just one single race. Everything has to be perfect. The stars have to align. But if you can go in there with the least amount of stress against your competitors, knowing that, you know, the chips are going to fall where they fall, I think that's going to be beneficial, that mindset there.
Brad, what do you got?
Well, so to me, like a lot of everybody thinks that the Nationals won in the semis and in the final because, you know, the track has evolved and a lot of things change and stuff. But really in the first and second round, a lot of things can happen at the National because, of course, your total points count for your gate choice and you want to really be inside of your most fierce competitors like I would want to be at Costa Mesa Speedway. So it's really important to remember at Costa Mesa Speedway that in the early rounds, especially the first 4 races, it's tough because the grip is on the inside. So when we prep the track, the inside is kind of worn like a bowl and then the top crown's off. So every week we try to take that crown off the 3/4 of the way around, which is the banking at Costa Mesa. We try to fill it back down into that groove. And that groove is always the lowest spot that's been filled with the most beautiful, fresh dirt that isn't slick, that can give you grip. And so I think in the first rounds of the National at Costa Mesa Speedway, you got to get to the bottom. And even if someone's drag racing you down the back straight, you've got to, in turn 3 and 4, get to the bottom because that's where the grip is.
Speaking of competitors, I've got one of the biggest competitors on the track these days, the guy who's won 6 U.S. Nationals. It's Billy Gennaro right there out of up north, right up there. Hey, Billy, how are you?
No,
Who's that? Who's that?
Good.
Hey,
Who's
I
that?
just heard Brad say that the inside is the best there, but gate 4 is usually always the best gate at Costa Mesa.
I don't know, Billy. I think, what was it, 2 years ago? I think I beat you out of the National from gate 2.
Yeah, but Austin Nevrado made it twice last week out of gate 4.
From 4. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about that, to be honest.
See what I say? Gate 4 is always good at Costa Mesa.
Hey, it isn't bad. It isn't bad. You damn near won it last year from 4.
It's almost, except for some young kid going around past me on the inside.
Hey, I've got a clip from that show. Let's remind everybody about the finals from last year. Here you go. Let's check it out. This is an XSRA.TV Speedway Race Report. Welcome back, Speedway fans, to our coverage of the 53rd United States National Speedway Championship at Costa Mesa Speedway. Tape up, Gennaro from the fast lane 4 off the wall. Into turn 1, Ruml on the low line. Gennaro outside. He goes high on the back straight. Ruml low. Gennaro pinches down on Ruml into lane 4. Nickel chasing Gennaro's line. Lightcap following Ruml. Ruml low into turn 1. He bobbles and recovers, pushing Gennaro outside. Nickel looking on the outside of Gennaro. Ruml gets the low line into turn 3. He takes the lead into lap 3. Gennaro bobbles turn 1, sending him and Nickel off the track. Ruml takes the lead in lap 3. Slater Lightcap second. Into lap 4, Ruml, Lightcap. Gennaro takes Nickel out against the wall. Don't say you can't pass late in this game on this track. Max Ruml just did it, and now he has Slater Lightcap on his back tire. Max Ruml in the lead takes the win to remain the United States National Champion. Slater Lightcap in second, Gennaro third, Nickel out. How about that, Speedway fans? Max Ruml worked it hard, and now he is the United States National Speedway Champion 2 years in a row. With a high five from pit steward Ryan Evans, he takes the checkered flag. The officials would toss Gennaro's third place finish for causing Nickel to fall out. Third place went to Brock Nickel. That's an XSRA.TV Speedway Racing. All right, so yeah, that little kid, huh?
I almost killed us both.
I almost killed Brock, but I lifted. That wasn't intentional.
That was a hell of a race, I'll tell you. I mean, everybody that was there had experienced a full race. And Brad, you gave me a real quick interview after that. That was amazing, wasn't it? I mean, it always is amazing. Covered numerous ones.
The racing was great. The track was a bit too slick, and Brock wasn't happy. That's what I learned from that video. That's no news today.
Brock wasn't happy, but he got a third out of it.
I thought it was clean. I thought the Billy J move was clean. I'm with Billy J on this one, bro.
Well, that's Lucera's call. He's your zebra out there. So
Brock should have been out for bad acting on that one. That was Billy J was clean.
I think he's listening right now. We're trying to get him
100 before the race.
Aaron, you got any questions with regard to some of the other aspects of what these guys have to look out for in all 5 rounds?
Yeah, some years it's been a 5-round top 3 advance straight into a final with a last chance runoff, one person making it in. And then I believe last year there was 2 semis, which would have been a GP format. Brad, what is your format this year?
Oh, heck. That hasn't been posted? That's not public information?
It may have been. I'm not sure.
I think that the top 3 go to the final, and 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th go to a last chance. But I don't know. I'm not looking at the program right now. I think it's always the same, isn't it?
No, what was it? The first year I won it, I believe it was top 3 to the final, then a 4, 5, 6, 7 runoff. Then last year was 2 semis and a final.
Correct.
So the problem with it is we never solve anything because we still need the 5-man race. With the 5-man race, everything would be solved.
I second that.
Yeah,
I don't think 5 guys at Costa Mesa is a good idea on any night.
Probably
not. I'm not. Me and Aaron aren't racing. I'm just looking forward for a good show. Oh, he disappeared.
See ya.
Brad, go.
The problem is they did 5 men for many years there.
Yeah. Trust me, I was a part of a couple of those, but I was also a part of some big wrecks from the 5-man main event.
I'm not in favor of it. Not saying that. I'm just saying.
Brad, get back in.
Yeah, I think one of the most stressful parts about that format where the top 3 get in is you've got to be perfect in your heats and maybe drop a point, no more than 2 points, because you got to make top 3. Once you get that 4 through 7 and you're in that last chance, I mean, that's just as good as a main event. That's hard to win as well. So you got to get those points and accumulate those points. So going back to Brad's point earlier, those early rounds are crucial. So like Wilbur was just saying, I'm excited to be on the sideline announcing this because I'm actually nervous for this. Probably more nervous than I would be riding because this is going to be intense. You guys are the speed you guys are doing now is wild, and this is going to be an incredible show. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm super excited. I think no matter what the program is, I prefer a 2 semis and a final. I think I think we all kind of strive off of like that last little bit when you're. I think it's been a long time since I've been out of the top 3 going into it. I think even last year when I won it, I think I had a crash in my first race, or maybe it was 2 years ago. I had a crash in my first heat race. I think I even had an engine failure, and I think I still somehow managed to go into the final with first or second choice. So early races are crucial, but it's championship racing, and I think a lot more happens on these nights. You see a lot more people take points off of each other. Just the the intensity that comes with it is pretty wild. So
One
we'll
year,
see.
Brian Yarrow won it from gate 3 after not riding for the whole year.
Yeah,
2014.
that was insane.
Yeah.
So
Anybody
Seems like
can
that
win
one
it.
still
It was
lingers
that-
with a lot of people, huh?
oh yeah, I think that's a good one.
Rad Brad's back. Did you lose power, Rad
I was
Brad?
in that.
I fell over the dog. The dog tripped me up. No, Brian Yarrow's pure class, dude, and I always loved that guy. Like, and you know we're having Bart Bass down for the national. Do we know that?
Are you?
Oh yeah, Bart
now
Bass,
we do.
Chris Kerr, Billy Gennaro, and
Louis?
Russell Green, and also Blake Borello, all from up north.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
You're not going to have Louis this season?
Well, I reached out to Louis, but I didn't hear anything back. I don't know if Louis. I don't know what Louis' status is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going back to the
Louis, you're
formats of
talking
the
about
races.
Is that Louis 188 you're talking about?
Yeah.
Mercer Roller.
Yeah, I reached out to that guy, but I just didn't hear anything back. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to go back to the
Right.
format of the races. As a rider and a spectator, I personally agree with the 2 semis and a main, just because you get that curveball. You get that curveball of like someone that you might have not considered or you might have not put your money on, still gets that chance. Who knows, right? You get Chris Kerr. He's always to be honest, he's always an underdog to me. I think that if you just throw that curveball in, it just makes the racing so much more exciting. And I think that you can get those if, ands, or buts more throughout the night of racing. You're allowed to make a mistake, right? A guy can scrape in with 8 points, make it into the main, and all of a sudden he's the national champion. I mean, some might not agree with that, but I think it's there's a little bit more room for error, and I think more guys will be less comfortable. And when you get guys that are less comfortable, you obviously get more badass races.
Oh yeah, 100% on that. Like when I speak about like my little brother, right, Dylan, he banks on semis.
Yeah.
Dylan is such a slow starter. If he was heat 1, I guarantee any of us have a better chance at beating Dylan in heat 1 rather than beating him in a semi. When it comes down to like a semifinal and even to a final, there's a little bit of a different mentality going into a semifinal and a final. You can scrape through the heat races, have no problems and no worries, and once you're into a semifinal though, there's some little switch that kind of clicks on, and especially with a little bit of the more experienced riders, you see it somehow all of a sudden things just start to work, and bike starts to work. You figured out a setup that works. You've made some stuff happen, and all of a sudden the intensity level goes through the roof, and it's wild. And like I was saying, like Dylan, he is one of the best semifinal riders I've ever met in my life, because of how he can scrape into a semifinal and he banks on those semifinals to make finals.
Yeah,
So,
it's a shame he didn't. He's injured again, off-season injury. Was hoping that he can be in it this season, because by him not being in, I see how much you get. You're able to race a lot more effectively, because he does spoil you a lot of times.
I think the sport's hurting without him. I think he needs to heal up and get himself back on a bike. I think the sooner he can get back on it, the better the sport will be, better the racing will be, and the more chances we have for people to take points off of each other when it comes to a national championship.
I agree. I miss him out there. I saw him last week at the track, and I asked him to not fuck around in the off season. I mean, don't screw around and stay, healthy. And he said he's going to try. But Brad, how are you going to have 16 racers? Tell us about your racer lineup. You said something about the guys from up north. Who else do you have?
We're gonna have 10 Dylan Rummels and like a couple other guys. That would be a sick national. That would be really good.
I know Brock is trying to get in. He's got something wrong with his internet. I don't know. I think he's growing the magic stash as well. But Brock, keep
he's
trying.
already in the national.
Yeah,
he's fine. He's gonna be fine.
Hey, no kidding, huh?
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Aaron, you got any questions for?
Yeah, I've got one here, Brad, for you. Out of all the years you've been doing this at Costa Mesa, and even in your racing years, back when your dad ran this, is there any one particular national night that stands out to you that was most exciting, that you can recall?
Yeah, probably in 1974. So it was still really fresh, and it was like just blowing up week by week. And Jack Milne kept sending the crew from Mike Brown Grandstands out to put bigger and bigger bleachers up. And I was the kid that was sitting up in the front of the Fair Administration Building on Orange County Fairgrounds, which was like an old Air Force Quonset hut kind of thing. And I was selling tickets every night for 2 weeks, and we had a little chart. Like every seat was charted out, 8,750 seats. And I was making a little X for every adult and then a little slash for every junior, on that chart. And we sold the place out. Now, nobody sits, a bleacher seat's rated at like 16 inches. Even Speedway riders can't sit in a 16-inch seat. So that was really something to sell out 8,700 tickets. And then on the night, because it was Mike Bass and Rick Woods and Danny Becker and Bill Cody and Sonny Nutter, so many more. It was so awesome. And people were climbing the fences to get in there. It was really cool. Orange County sheriffs rode up and down the fence line on Arlington Street on horses, pulling kids off the fences. Kids showed up earlier in the week and tried to tunnel in. So it was a pretty special time. My dad went out and found a couple like places where the kids had dug under the fence. And the day of the event, he filled those holes with water. So it didn't stop those kids from and they were all riding their Stingrays down, and they all went on the track after the races, and I wasn't allowed to. And I was so bummed. I hated those kids. They got to ride their Stingrays on the Speedway track, and everybody did a wheelie, and it was super sick. And that's all we're really still trying to do.
Here's one for you then. Being a rider and now a promoter and seeing this all these years, would you say the level of difficulty is higher now than it was then, or easier now? And keep in mind, this group here, including myself and Max, have had to race one of the greatest of all time with Billy J for 10, 12 years now. So in your opinion, is it more difficult now on a national night than it was, say, maybe 1980, 1985?
I watched the races, and even you, Aaron, who I see you go around, I go okay, I see how Aaron does that. That's pretty cool. I like that. I'm a big fan of how you do it and everything. It's really great. And then I see Austin go out there, and I go I don't do that at all. I never did that. I don't even want to do that. I don't even know how he does that. And so I think the talent level just goes up and up. If you watch British League Speedway from my day, 1981 and 82, I was with Wimbledon. If you watch those meetings and now you watch a Grand Prix, it's two widely different things. And for me, the biggest difficulty, though, is going in there and making a racetrack that someone on a 70 whatever horsepower motorcycle isn't going to hurt somebody on. So in the old days, we had ruts and bumps and dirt and stuff was flying and it was out of control. And now I just think it has to be a little more from my perspective, the pressure comes on and just making a racetrack that's really safe and fair. I don't want the first round to be 4 inches of muck and mud, because lots of people have lost the national in the first 2 rounds. I have. And I know lots of other people have. Boogaloo Bob for sure has, when Steve Lucero ran his head over 3 times in one race. So I just want it to be like safe and fair and let the best man win. And I'm going to give everyone, but it won't be as slick as it was in that main that I just saw. Okay. I promise it won't be that. We're going to have a little bit more grip than that.
I hope so.
We are.
Brad,
I'm
just dump
going to make a little Billy J line out there.
Yeah, Brad, just dump a
keep you
lot of
guys
dirt on
honest.
the outside. Leave that inside firm and dump a heck of a lot more DG around that outside of the corners. They'll put on a show.
Well, you know, you guys were talking about gate 4 earlier. You know, the gate's a little offset at Costa Mesa Speedway. So what I mean by that is like gate 4 has about 6 inches over gate 3, which has because it's angled back. Gate 1's a little farther back. Because in the old days when it was straight across, pretty much gate 1 was like, that was the biggest advantage ever. And we just want anyone to be able to win from any starting position. I think on October 12th at the U.S. National Speedway Championship, you see some really like unpredictable, colorful racing. I'm stoked for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Billy, it looked like you were going to say something.
I don't remember. Hey, but that tells you why gate 4 is so good. You're a foot ahead of everybody.
Yeah. Yeah,
least
I'm
gate 1 you are.
I'm rigging it for you, Billy J. I'm on your team, bro.
I'll take gate 4 then.
I noticed that gate 4, I mentioned to Alex that I don't think he takes advantage of the wall. Is there something that you guys do when you position the bike against the wall than when a guy doesn't do that?
We're not scared to pack a rut deep with dirt. We know how to use our clutch. I think that's a big thing. If you're not scared to put the back wheel in good dirt and just let the thing rip, I think that's the biggest thing. Everyone's so scared and terrified of the front wheel coming up and not having control of the bike going in. I think
Once you learn how to gate good, it works for you. If you're okay at gating, it doesn't work for you. If you're good at it, it really works for you.
yeah, and you have
So
to be
it takes
on
practice
because
on that.
well, if you miss it too, like just missing a little bit of the start, I mean, those tapes go up and you're off by everybody. If you're the last person to drop the clutch, no matter what, it's difficult to come from 4. So you got to be the intensity has to be there to know, you know, that you have to make a decent reaction time along with just making sure you have control of the thing. Because if you can pack a rut deep with dirt and when it comes to gate 4, you have a mound of dirt that's 6 inches thick compared to, I mean, you're sitting from gate 1 all the way to 3. It's like it's a concrete sometimes. So when you go from having 6 inches of dirt to play with for a start to a concrete start from 1 to 3, you got a 10-foot advantage no matter what just from that.
Yeah.
How about that turn 1 early in the race when the track hasn't been pressed down and it's a lot fluffy and maybe a little bit more slick? I remember a couple seasons back, Aaron, you and Austin got into it in a turn 1, and I think it was the first or second heat of the night, and that was Austin's end of his evening, and you came back pretty well. But what about that turn 1 at Costa Mesa that makes it such a dangerous corner?
Well, like we talked about earlier, it's tight, it's small. But you know, Brad mentioned there's one orbit, and so everyone's kind of going for that spot, especially earlier on. You want that inside material, and then when the rakers are pushing material back down onto that line, you want to get there, and that's going to be the quickest way around to start the evening. So it's really crucial to make your starts in the beginning of the night and to get to the first corner first, and making smart first corners, and then focusing on getting to turn 3 in that first lap first. So. But many different scenarios, and these guys know what to do. These guys can miss a start and come from the back. I've seen it many times. So you almost want them to miss starts because you watch Billy from the back. I've watched him. I think it was an AMA round in 2016. Didn't make the start in the main and clipped off each rider each lap, and then passed Gino in the last lap in the last corner to win. So there's. It's exciting when, someone good misses the starts, but these guys aren't going to want to give up points that easy.
Brad, let me ask you about the track. Your guys, you rake the track. In the past, I saw you drag it, but why are you raking it now more often than dragging a chain across it?
Well, pulling that heavy drag in and out of the pits during the event creates a lot of like extra dirt and stuff we have to clean up. And at one point, somebody's toe got dragged off in the pit tunnel. And if you've been at Costa Mesa Speedway and you see how busy it is, to stop the event, to get a truck in there and drag the drag around and get it off, I don't really think it's as consistent as the raking. I think for that little racetrack, like the raking is really, really good because it's every event. It's the same amount of materials being pulled down. It's not like every 4 events you pull down a big clumpy, in the old days, the track would be wet. And if the drag wasn't just right, the guy would drag it down, it would be clumpy, leave a berm down by the pole, which is not good. Like a lot of stuff happened. And then, like I said, a couple of people's toes got dragged off by the drag because that thing weighs like 1,750 pounds. So it's just not, it's way better. And then the guys I have in the old days that used to rake, they're a bunch of like old motorcycle club guys from Orange County who I love more than anything. But, they're like guys like almost my age, which is useless or next to useless for like a track dragger. So I got a bunch of really sick kids out there. My little nephew, Jack, from Dana Hills High School, got all his buddies out there. And I got all the Dana Hills High School's junior track raking next to me varsity team out there right now. And, like the fans love them. They work hard. And at the end of the races, they're out there signing autographs and taking tips.
Bunch of young stallions.
Cool. A bunch of stallions, dude. We got to cut the old guys. It's all about the stallions.
Speaking of young stallions, I get the king of Costa Mesa right here. Brock has finally figured it out.
Wait. Did we just call him the king?
That's what he's got in there. The king of Costa Mesa. Brock, welcome to the chat.
That's what you put your name as, huh, bud?
How's it going?
All right. How you feeling there, Brock?
Just stole my time.
Pretty good.
What's my name? What's my name?
Yours is Billy Gennaro.
No. I want to know what Brock says his name is.
No, what does mine say?
Brock says he's the king of Costa Mesa.
What does mine say?
So are you going to be able to pull it? I gotta do something over here. Hold on. Are you going to be able to pull off a win here, Brock? I mean, you've been hot all season.
Not if I have anything to do with it.
I mean, I'd like to try. I mean, thanks for giving me the recognition. I don't feel I've gotten much of that this season. But 3 rounds, 3 wins felt really good. And yeah, hopefully I could get it all done at Costa Mesa. I think I got screwed over last year. I heard Brad kind of mention I was pissed off. That's what happens when the referee kind of makes bad calls and takes money away from you.
Well, I think we should do this more often. I feel like a little like liberated by this. I think we should all really do this a lot more often.
It's a therapy session.
This is a live stream therapy session.
Can we flash Steve Lucero in on this conversation right now? Because that'd be really sick. I would love that. That'd be great.
I'll bring him in next time. Next time.
Oh gosh.
But, Aaron, you got any questions for Brock here?
Yeah, I do. Let's go back to I think it was Nationals of 2017. That was one of the best I've ever seen the main event.
I don't want to talk about that one.
I know you don't, but it was, all 4 of you put on a heck of a show, and Brock, tell us a little bit about that. And
that was a really good ride. I think I came off of gate 4, and didn't get off to a good start. I think I was trailing at the back and kind of just plugged away. I was using the outside line. And I think it was a matter of a few things, kind of staying at their back wheels, had a pretty good setup to go around. I think Max and Austin were kind of banging bars and slowing each other up a little bit, and I seen an opening and was able to use some of that dirt you guys talked about built up on gate 4 to shoot me into the corner a bit quicker. And it came down to a line, but I think that was an awesome race and one for the history books.
Oh, I think you're not wrong there. I think even being on the losing side of that race, it had to have been one of my favorite races to date. I think afterwards I wanted to cry a little bit, but as the years go on, I kind of sit there and realize like how lucky I was to just be a part of something like that and to see that firsthand. I mean, I was running into Austin. Austin was running into me. And then I was running into you, trying to block you from winning the whole damn thing. And it came down to probably half a wheel. So being on the losing side of it, I think definitely a little bitter. But man, what a race it was to be a part of. That was pretty
Yeah, because here's the thing. The track that night was so well prepared that when you're out front, you almost become vulnerable. And I felt, Max, that you were the quickest, but you were vulnerable in the sense that you had Austin running full throttle up your left elbow for 3 laps and then worrying about him and Brock just kind of winding it up around the outside on the last lap. So do you go inside? Do you go outside? So that's where it becomes tough, but that's just a testament to how well the track was prepared that night. So that's the kind of racing we want throughout the Nationals evening.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, like you said, it was 3 laps of just consistently trying to bug Austin off of me, which fair play to him. He did everything he could to get by me. And I was so focused on that. It just left so much room for Brock to just do what he needed to do. Kind of took I think it almost took the pressure off of him. Like you said, it made me so vulnerable that I didn't know where to go or what to do. And once Brock committed, he saw something work and he made it work for the last like 2 laps. It's something clicked and he just blew by us both without question. It was pretty incredible. I'll sit there and commend you for that one, dude. that was sick.
Well, I've seen that. I just saw that happen in the round 2 of the AMA Nationals, where it's like he let you and Billy run
His
after
dad
each other.
plays it 100 times a year on Facebook. Just watch that.
I think that got me the most, dude. How many times Uncle Doug replayed that national? I think that thing's just embedded in my head at this point.
Yeah, I mean, playing a little bit of rope-a-dope, letting you guys race each other, and then sinking down and doing a sneaky peek. That's some thinking there, eh, Brock?
Yeah, I mean, it's racing. You got 4 laps for a reason, and sometimes you just got to be patient.
Hey, how many times is your dad going to play the Nationals from this year?
Oh.
Only time will tell.
That's if he gets a win. You got to win it. I mean,
I've seen a lot of pictures.
Nationals.
What do you think, Brad?
Well, the second you lead a motorcycle race, especially in the tiny confines of Costa Mesa Speedway, you go defensive. So that's a good place to go defensive at, is Costa Mesa Speedway, because it's easy to hog up the whole track and stuff like that. But when somebody is on a roll on a good racetrack on the right night, like Brock was that night, that's really hard to stop. And like I said, it all starts with the second you're leading the motorbike race, you go defensive. And Costa Mesa Speedway is itsy bitsy, it's teeny tiny, it's too tight really for the motorbikes and for the guys who are riding them. It's really like a tempest in a teacup having those guys out there. And so it's like human nature to get that lead, try to hog up the line. And you would think late in the night, like say after whatever is in the national, if you count all the races, like 24 or 5 events have run off. So the track is pretty much burned off. The moisture has evaporated and all that stuff has gone on over the whole night of racing, and now you're in the final and you're trying to block up that inside. No one wants to get past on the inside, dude. That's like, no one, you can't let that happen. But if someone's going to ride around you at Costa Mesa Speedway, you got to give it to them, because that was a pretty rare and awesome event. That was 2017 you're talking about, and Brock just rode around in the last 2 laps. And no, I'm not sure anybody. Doug keeps playing it because no one's really sure how that happened. That was really quite amazing. That's not the regular thing that would happen. I think Max did the right thing. I don't think there's 10 guys in history that could have gone around and made that move, and that was spectacular.
I think
That's why
that
he's
race.
the king of Costa Mesa, right?
Self-proclaimed.
I just saw that we all have our names on now. Holy crap.
He wouldn't
I
say
love
my
it.
name earlier.
That's pretty cool, dude.
Will, you got it? You got any questions for these guys before we head off? 'Cause we're heading
Hey,
into
I
our
got a
hour.
good
Yeah.
question. Here's
Okay.
a question. Hey Brock, when we were at industry for the state championship, you said that you thought that the AMA national this year was going to come down to probably the first or second round. When it came down to being the final race, where was your head at? Because I remember my head being all over the place for the first 2 times the 2 times that I've won it, going into the race that wins me the championship. I don't even know how to express it. It was just so overwhelming. Kind of curious where your head was at with that.
To be honest, in a different place than I thought it would have been. I knew what I was going to do. Once I made my decision, it came down to the last race. I kind of had a feeling it was going to. The biggest decision I had was what gate to choose. I feel once you then choose your gate, then I seem to calm down quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think it's the decision of what gate I want to go is where I'm most tense and wondering if I made the right decision. But once I do, then I go with it and can kind of calm down after that. But yeah, I was going to go gate 3. That I thought I would maybe have the best chance to beat you to the dirt line, and you can't turn until I turn. And then I started thinking, fuck, I better kind of play this safe and go gate 1. Because I know how Billy could be in first corners. He's good at getting to that dirt line first. So I thought, fuck, well, I'll let him do that hard work, and hopefully I could just creep around on the inside. And that's just how it worked out. It's perfect.
Yeah. I think.
Looked like you got into Billy, and that just allowed Brock to pull like he did in round 2 in the main. Just get on the inside there.
Oh, dude, I should have learned from the mistake in the second round too. But when I was coming from gate 4 for 3 races, I think the 2 previous races and my semifinal coming from gate 4, I had to do it like 3 or 4 times. And it worked every time. It was hard not to go again from there. I think if I looked back on it, I still would have made that decision. Still probably would have went from gate 4. I wouldn't have let you have gate 4, that's for sure. Nor would I would have let Billy. So I don't know. It's hard decisions when it comes down to a first corner, especially with that much on the line. But you played it. You played it perfect. Played it perfect. I was sitting there just like,
sometimes. So I've always said I think having first choice on gate pick in such a high tense race with all guys that could win is the worst choice to have.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that,
hey, how about you, Billy? Well, what's your thought on that?
In 2013, it came down to me and Billy Hemmel for the national championship, and we were tied on points after 3 rounds. Hey, stop it. And the last race of the night, the main event, it came down to whoever beat who. And I'm thinking Hemmel was going to choose gate 1 because gate 4 was the best. So I chose gate 4 thinking he was going to choose gate 1, and he chose gate 3. And luckily, I made a better start out of gate 4 and beat him on that one. But yeah, that was a tough night, man. Trying to figure out which gate to go with, and like we said, we were tied on points. I was the high point guy of the night, and it was a tough decision.
Well, Billy, you're going to try after you try to get your 7th title this at the U.S. Nationals. Max, you're going to try to three-peat, which is amazing, 3 in a row. And then Brock, you're bringing in all the heat from the AMA National Championship. I think you guys are heavy contenders there. Of course, you've got Austin, who's always a wild card, not just a wild man, always a wild card. And then you got young Slater Lightcap, who, I mean, he's been chasing your guys' tails and looking very impressive. But I think you all have a very good opportunity, but only if you keep your heads on and make the right decisions. But before we go, because we're on an hour, Wilbur, you got any last questions for the guys? And then I'll go to you, Eric, and then Brad.
I've spoken to a few different riders about this, obviously. But how important is the first round of heats for you guys when it comes into a big race like this? You know, obviously it's tough when you have a tough first heat and you're kind of struggling you're fighting the setup and you know, you're starting with your, you know, you're not all caught up there. But how important is it for you guys to have a proper good first heat? Starting off with, we'll start with Billy.
Yeah, over the years, I've always been decent in the first heats, but lately something hasn't been working, you know. I seem to always get beat in my first race, so then you just have to buckle down and put your race face on and go for it. So I don't think it matters with 2 semis. It always matters because you want first gate choice, but as long as you have semis, you always have a chance.
Totally. Max, what about you?
To be honest, when it comes down to like a night like that, I think for some reason I'm really good at heat 1. I love being in heat 1, like having any draw from heat 1, whether it's 1 to 4. I love it. For some reason, damn dog. I typically have a really good first heat. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm just a little bit better with the nerves or something, but I mean, like I said, I don't think it matters to me whether I finish the race or win the race. I don't think that sets the tone for the night. My big thing is just making a semi, and I know if I have four more heats after that to do that job, then I'm good. If I can make a semi, that's when the work comes into play, and we have to really make something happen. So heat 1 isn't a big deal to me. Neither is heat 5. As long as I'm in that semi, I'm happy and able to go.
And then to piggyback off of that, how important is it to have such like a strong camaraderie with the people that are in your pits? You know, say you do come in and you're feeling like the bike is doing something that you don't want it to do, or you feel like it's too much or maybe too little, to be able to express how you're feeling to your mechanic, bounce ideas off, and then take that to the next step. Like you come in from your first ride, you're not happy with the bike. How do you go about that? And we'll start with Max.
Oh, dude. Change everything. Change the bike. Change it all. Just could trash the bike and call it done. No, I think for us, we always start off with, I mean, we're the same at every track. We don't make very many changes. I think for the AMA National round in Auburn, we didn't change a single thing other than flipping a tire. Everything stayed the same. For the AMA round in City of Industry, I didn't change a single thing. The one time I did change was in the first round where I had bike troubles and I went to a completely separate bike, which is a bike that I hadn't been riding at all. It was an engine that I don't think was quite strong enough for the track we were on. So I think changes and stuff come very lightly with us. We don't make any big or drastic changes. We kind of let the track come to the bike and hope for the best there. But typically it always does. We on a regular night, we hardly make any changes. And if we do, it's not very drastic at all. And usually the changes we make work pretty well from the experience that we've had over the years of racing at beautiful Costa Mesa Speedway or City of Industry or up in Auburn or wherever else we've raced.
And then Billy, what do you think?
I think you got to repeat the question.
Yeah. How important is it to be able to have that camaraderie with the people that are in your pits to be able to make sure that your bike is going to be doing exactly what you want it to do at the end of the night?
Yeah, I've been working with Bill Warnock for the last couple of years, and he knows a lot about Speedway. So I just come in and tell him what I think, and he just makes the necessary changes. Bill does a lot of the work throughout the night. He goes, "Hey, you want to drop a tooth? Yeah, let's drop a tooth." So we just talk about it and figure out where we're comfortable at, and I don't make very many changes. I may drop 2 or 3 teeth in a night, but that's about it.
It's mellow.
Timing wise, a little bit, just small little changes, nothing major.
How about you, Aaron? Got a couple last questions before we end?
No, I think I've got all the questions in that I was curious about. I'm just excited for this. I can't wait for next Saturday. This is a deep lineup, a deep field that Brad's assembled. 7, maybe 8 guys that can win it. Max going for a 3-peat. Billy adding another one to his cap. Brock wanting to add another one. Slater is going to be coming. Austin still looking to get that first one. So I've got the secondhand nervousness just being a part of it on the sidelines to commentate. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an electric atmosphere, and I can't wait.
Brad, any parting shots?
Yeah, I don't care who wins. My job's to put on a well-attended, well-prepared, and well-presented event. And that's what we're going to do again. That's what makes Costa Mesa Speedway the birthplace and cradle of American Speedway motorcycle racing. And I'm just super stoked that you're helping us out promote it. And that's Saturday night, October 12th. Of course, the gates open at 6 o'clock with a live band and happy hour. And we're going to crown a national champion.
All right.
I just hope I cover the spread.
All right. Well, I have good luck, Max, with your magic stash happening. And Aaron, are you going to be able to get back in? I don't know. Aaron's doing something. Billy, have fun over there with little Ricky. I can see. Hey, Ricky, how are you?
Going on, Ricky.
Ricky.
Tell Ricky I got some Nerf gun. I've got Nerf gun bullets for him when he's ready.
Nice. He's ready.
Very good. All right. Well, it's going to be a great event. The 54th U.S. Nationals at the world famous Costa Mesa Speedway. You got to be at this show. You got to be there to see history in the making. You see Max get his 3-peat, or Billy get his 7th, or Brock get his 3rd, or even Slater getting his 1st. I know he's coming back with Poland with fire in his belly. And Brock is going to try and do it. But I know Austin has got a lot to prove as well. I got Eddie Castro bothering me over here. Brad, fuel for the Nationals. Who's going to do fuel for the Nationals?
Bill Cody, Wild Bill Cody, the legend, always hooks us up for fuel at the Nationals, and it's the same for 54 years. We've never failed.
All right. Very good. There you go, Eddie.
It's Costa Mesa Speedway, no fail.
No fail.
And don't be scared. All right. Don't be scared to go to the track and see it.
Right,
but if you can't make it to the track, we'll be streaming live from the track. How do you like that artwork, guys? It's pretty good, huh? But we'll be streaming live from the track. Aaron and Wilbur are going to be doing it for the first time. You guys got to share this out to people that really can't make it to the track. And really appreciate you guys getting in. I think Aaron dropped out. Brad, thank you so much for joining us here on American Speedway Chat Live. Will you do it again?
Oh, never. No. My attention span's like 12 seconds, bro. Okay. Like, this
Well, I
was painful
appreciate it,
for me.
Billy.
Painful.
Billy, I very appreciate it so much coming on. Good luck next week. But good luck on the USA versus the World out there this Friday or Saturday out at Fast Fridays. I was there last season. I had a great time. And just stay healthy and come back to Costa Mesa with fire in your belly, eh?
Hey, where is that Fast Fridays? Can you let us know about that? Where is that?
It's in Auburn.
Okay, cool. Fast Fridays, Auburn.
Yeah.
Saturday night, right?
Dirt Oval.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it'll be their 25th USA versus the World out there. So good luck, Billy. Take it home because you guys lost it last season, but
Hopefully
you had it.
Brock
You
makes
almost
this
had it.
flight, huh?
You almost
Hey,
had
if I change my name to Oxley Ski, can I be on the Euro team this year?
Oxley Ski. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, guys. All right, I'm gonna cut you loose. Max, thank you very much, and we'll see you at the track on Saturday. Billy, thank you. We'll see you on the track in a couple weeks.
All right, see you, boys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Bye. Brad, thank you very much. I'm going to say goodbye. I'll see you at the track. Are you going to be there this week? You're going to be there this week. I'll see you there.
We're prepping every day. It's going to be beautiful. We're polishing the seats.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Beautiful.
I'll see you Monday.
Boogaloo Bob will be wheel packing.
Fantastic. He always does. Thank you. Will, I saw that you've changed your moniker for your Facebook page. It's Will. What is it? Give me the new name for your race team thing.
For my race team, you're catching me off guard here. You
have a new name for something on either Instagram or on Facebook.
Oh yeah, no, I just got like a racing account on Facebook, which is just Team Will Racing.
All right, so everybody follow Will there. Follow him on his social media and. Wilbur, you've got a lot of fans around the world. Please let them know that they can watch the best racing in Southern California on that live stream. And I really appreciate you being a part of that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I think Costa Mesa needs to be obviously more expanded. It's well known as it is, but it needs to be more expanded. And I was just over in Europe right now and already mentioning to a lot of people that, that is it's happening and we're doing this live stream and people can watch and to open the eyes to a lot of the European viewers is going to be massive. So I'm really looking forward to being a part of this stream. And obviously I wish I was on the other side of the fence, but
I know,
this time it'll be good.
I wish you were too, but fortunately I got another job for you.
I appreciate it.
You're fantastic at talking to people as well. I've told you in the past, and I mentioned it to your dad that if you stop Speedway Racing, I got an announcer job for you. But
absolutely, I appreciate it.
But thank you very much. And let's come back on with Slater and talk about SGP2 another time. That's a very big event over there, and I saw some pictures on Facebook. It looked like you guys had a great time, and we'll talk about it later. But in the meantime, it's time for let me put this back up. The live stream from Costa Mesa, it will cost $34.99. That's just $4.99 more than the gate fee, but that's the agreement that we have with speedsports.tv, the most stable stream in Speedway Racing. It won't drop. You can watch it on all different platforms. It's a wonderful stream. Plus, you get 30 days video on demand if you want to watch it again. I want to thank Lifestyle Cycles, Shark Law, and AHM for jumping in and helping with the stream. I'm looking to get more, but this is in association with Speedway International Speedway Inc., and we're just trying to help everybody know about this. Relearn it, right? Will, I mean, they got to relearn how fun and exciting this is, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this event will open a lot of eyes for a lot of different viewers, across the world, and get a little bit of a taste of what the competition is like here in the States. And the tracks are different, but it's certainly exciting.
Yeah. Speaking of the tracks are different, I know that I watched a little bit of video of the SGP2, and I saw Slater trying to horse that bike around the corners, which is what we do here, which the riders do here. Here, you got to horse it into those corners, where over there in Europe, you've got to just let it go into the corner.
Yeah.
You want to just tell the fans about that. I mean, these guys are really horsing those bikes. It's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, here you have to be on the throttle. You got to turn it fast and kind of point and shoot. And over there, obviously you can let the bike go a little bit, but there are a lot of tracks that are very demanding, and you have to be able to ride them hard. And that's where a lot of the American riders, when they do go over, they are able to succeed when it comes to that stuff, because if it is a heavy dirt line, you can run it up the inside, make a dive bomb pass, hit that dirt line, come back down quickly and try to make a pass in the next corner for the next guy. Or, you just got to be quick with it, whatever you do. Make sure that you're well aware of your surroundings and who's coming up the inside or outside of it. Because even though the bike might feel it's a little bit slower because you got all this time before you come into the next corner, I'll tell you what, when you put your foot down coming into the corner, you realize how quick you're coming in there.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't do it. You guys, I leave it up to you guys to do it. I just like covering it. I've aged out. I'll just say I just aged out. But I really appreciate you guys racing out there. And from April to October, that's what I love to do. And I think a lot of people, if they found out more about the sport, they'd love to go to the track more often too. This is the season. This is the last race, individual championship of the 2024 Speedway summer season before Steve Evans starts his winter leagues. And so this is big thing. And I think Brad didn't mention it, but there's $12,000 on the line for this event. So it's a big prize purse, right?
Yep. It's nothing to lose and all to gain for all the guys. It's the end of the season. There's nothing after this except your day job. So might as well give it the best shot that you possibly can.
That's right. So everybody, make sure you tune in to xsra.tv. Get on to that live stream. We'll really appreciate it. Wilbur will appreciate it. Aaron will appreciate it. The crew out there will appreciate it. Brad, and Jaylene will appreciate it. Everybody will. So if you're down in if you're down in Encinitas, if you can't make it up, if you're all the way up in Crescent City, if you're in Texas, if you're in New York, and where else, Wilbur, if you're where? Give me some locations.
Oh, well, anywhere in Europe, I'll tell you that much. Everyone will be watching this race. This is a big one. This will be fun to watch.
It will. Well, thank you so much, sir, for joining me, and I'll see you in a couple days. I need to talk to you anyway, so I'll see you in a couple days. I'm going to cut you out, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Have a good one. Thank you, Ken.
Bye. All right, there you have it, everybody. That is episode 27 of American Speedway Chat Live. Thank you so much for joining us here. It ran a little over, but that's because we had so many talented guys to speak to. Good luck to all of the racers. Good luck to all of the Division 2 and the Division 1 racer, Division 3 racers that'll be racing in support. This is the biggest event of the year out here in Orange County, and they've been running it for 54 years. That is older than me. I'll just take that right now. But it is great. Actually, it will also be one of the last times you'll be able to see Sean McConnell, Eddie Castro, and I'm not going to say Bobby Schwartz, but it is Bobby Schwartz will be the master of ceremonies. Well, if Bob doesn't come out to the races, I don't know what he's going to do. You can't do that to a guy who's been doing it his whole life. I appreciate him being out there, and I know you will too. So remember, the 54th U.S. National Speedway Championship will be live at Costa Mesa Speedway Saturday, October 12th. We're going to open up the mics at about 6:30. About an hour before, we're going to talk to racers. We're going to talk about Speedway. We'll talk to as many people as we can. We'll get them on. And then the races kicks off at 7:30. Terry Ike Clanton will be your track announcer, but Wilbur and Aaron will be your live stream announcers. It's the first time I've ever done something like this. I think you guys will appreciate it. It's a lot of hard work, but it's worth it. And I sure hope you guys will take the time to attend. With that, I'm going to sign off. Let me find my, where am I? All right. Let me find this. And I'm just going to say thank you. I'm Ken McKinney, your XSRA.TV Speedway race promoter, producer. And thanks for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you follow the Facebook channel. We've got an Instagram live as well. So thank you very much to everybody who's on the Instagram. I think there's still about 4 or 5 people there. We ran long. Go watch some football, and I'll see you at the track.